Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to TED Talks Ball. Got a special Thursday afternoon edition, a Dallas Cowboys edition, Cowboys Niners week, that is. Got David McNew in the house. I call him McNuevo. David McNiner is his YouTube channel. You can find him at McNew 49er 801 on Twitter. And then also, like I said, David McNiner on YouTube. How you doing, my friend?
Great. Really looking forward to this matchup this weekend.
Nice. You're sounding a little garbled there. Is there it just sounds like almost fuzzy a little bit.
Sometimes it goes in and out. Is it a little better now?
It's not great. It's not terrible. I can understand you. Let's
Okay.
say hi to everybody. Maybe it'll take care of itself. Let's not worry about it too much. Got Bryant Culp in the house giving us the 4 pineapples. He's still loving that pineapples instead of fires. We got Red Jet Shell in the house saying Team Ted and Team McNew too. Thanks, Jet Shell. And then Bryant's thanking her. That's great. Everybody's awesome, good audience interaction. They're just getting to know one another. And you didn't stream it to your channel. Did you want to add your channel in there, David?
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay.
I got a show coming up next week, but my thumbnail really depends on us winning. I have
Ah,
something extra special saved.
nice. Your mic sounded better now too, by the way. So I guess
Okay.
we just had to wait it out a little bit. Everybody's saying hi. We got Anshul Shaw in the house of the Shaw Show saying, hey, Ted and David. What's up, Anshul? Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Everybody, make sure you check out his channel. Give him a like and subscribe. Same thing with David McNiner on YouTube. Really helps us out to get the likes and the subscribes. And we're saying, hey,
There's my guy. I stayed at his house when I was in California for the game.
oh, nice. Out in Stockton.
Yep.
Very cool. Round 2 chat. Let's go. Let's do it, Shell. She's been blowing me up on Insta too. It helps to get the interaction. So thanks for that. I appreciate it, Shell. McNuevo, Mountain McNiner. Yeah, you're in not Denver. You're in Utah, north of Salt Lake City, in Ogden.
That's right.
There we go. I finally got it right.
Yep. Yeah, we have a humongous mix of fans. I
You
mean,
tell me
humongous.
something enough times, eventually I will remember. Jimmy
Yeah,
Flores,
I mean, we
what's
have
up?
everything here. When it comes to football fans. A lot of
Oh, I bet.
49er fans too, though. A lot.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because there's all you got is the Jazz, basically, right? There's no
Yeah,
baseball, no football.
that's
Well,
correct.
and here's an interesting tidbit. The voice of the Utah Jazz, his name is David Locke. He is a classmate of mine from high school. And he also is locked on sports. So locked on 49ers, locked on Warriors, locked on Giants,
Mm.
locked on Jazz, locked on every major sport in every major city, plus about 40 college teams. He told me he thinks he's the second largest podcaster after ESPN, which is pretty incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I don't actually watch any of ESPN stuff. I'm not going to lie to you.
no, it's
I,
gone way downhill. Way down.
it has.
It's for casuals. It's not for serious fans. Just like, oh, what is this? It's yeah. No, you got to go to the local guys like us who really dive in deep, who really know everything there is to know about their team and their opponents. You get a much deeper dive. They have to cover everybody, so they can't be. It's impossible to be deep and broad. You got to pick one or the other. I mean, unless you just have unlimited energy and time. Anshul says, "Have to head to the airport soon, but want to stop by." Well, we appreciate you being here. Where you headed? He lives nearby me, I think, in Palo Alto too. But I think he might be in school, so he might be in Arizona heading home, or might be heading from Palo Alto to Arizona. Let's see, what time of year is it? It's yeah, who knows? Frank Tom Ocean says, "Yo, Ted, what's up, Frank Tom Ocean? Thanks for joining." And Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Thanks, you, Daniel Barry. Good to have you. So, how do we want to kick things off here, David? Do you want to talk a little Cards Niners recap? Do you want to dive right into the Cowboy stuff? Do you want to talk? I mean, we haven't talked this season. We could talk,
Well,
Steelers,
look,
Rams,
I think
Giants.
quick recap of week one, the Steelers. Believe it or
Yeah,
not, I didn't pick us to win the game
I believe it.
because
I
how the
believe
Steelers are like 15-1. Well, now they're 15-2 and home
it.
openers with Mike Tomlin.
That's
I was
right.
like, and we typically start the season slow, which this has been a pleasant surprise going 4-0. It
Yeah,
really has.
no doubt about it. 100%. And yeah, I mean, yeah, 15-1. They're, they obviously they have TJ Watt. We didn't have Bosa to sort of iron sharpens iron to get McKivitz ready for TJ Watt, and that showed with the 3 sacks and the 2 forced fumbles.
Yep.
They got Kenny Pickens, who's a good receiver, and Deontay Johnson, who's a good receiver, and Freiermuth, and they had my draft crush, Darnell Washington, the giant tight end out of Georgia. I thought, if you're worried about your tackle, what better friend to have than like a 6'8", 270 tight end to like line up right next to him as his security blanket. But Kyle thought otherwise and picked Kamla too.
Well, on top of that, we weren't doing McKivitz any favors having Brock Purdy in the shotgun and then him do a 3-step drop. That puts him about 7 steps back.
Right.
And TJ Watt's speed, how can McKivitz match that? So, I was watching TJ Watt go around McKivitz. The plays where he had to go through him, he didn't do so hot though. So that's the trick. Make the guy go through McKivitz,
Yeah, exactly. Because McKivitz is a decent pass blocker for sure. Maybe
Yeah.
better than McGlinchey at pass blocking. He just doesn't run block as well. Randy Daytona in the house. He says, Shell of the Red Jet Society. She pack a punch, not just one, a variety. Expect a knockdown. She's going 12 rounds. Don't turn your back on her stick. You've been put down. Some bars from Randy. Thank you, Randy. He also helped me come up with the name for my Monday show with Pete Burge from Australia, Pedro. And I was thinking of doing some kind of riff on Napoleon Dynamite. And Randy said, Vo-Ted for Pedro. I vote Ted for Pedro. Just like, I don't know if you're a Napoleon Dynamite fan, Uncle Rico and all that stuff. But it's kind of a cult classic, nerd film. But anyway, that's going to be the name of the show. And Roscoe's is working on the overlays for that for Monday. Yeah, I mean, I do think it's going to be a slobber knocker, 12 rounds. I think it's going to be a close game. Or do you want to jump into that yet? Should we talk more? We
Well,
were talking about
when it comes to
all right,
the Rams and the Cardinals,
yeah,
they're both better than we all thought they'd be.
that's true.
That's just what that boils down
Especially
to.
Puka freaking Nakua.
He played at a college that's pretty close to me, and he's kind of the enemy, though. I'm a Utah Utes fan. That's BYU. We call it the Holy War whenever they play.
Interesting.
But yeah, he was pretty good. I mean, I don't think he was even at the level he is right now in college.
He was
So that's
crazy, man.
that's something that I don't think anyone saw coming. But
No,
maybe the Rams.
obviously not. He went in
Right?
the 5th round, right? I mean, Sean McVay,
Yep.
got to give him his props for that. No, incredible Puka Nakua, and now they got Cup back, so they're gonna have Cup and Puka and Tutu. That's a lot of U's. They already had 4 U's between the two of them, between Tutu and Puka Nakua. Now they got Cup adds a 5th, and even Cooper almost has a U sound to it. There's a lot of U's on the wide receiving core. It'd be interesting to see the Rams play the Eagles this week, no doubt about it. No, but so talking about the Steelers, a lot of people were worried about McKivitz coming out of that game, and I wasn't as worried as a lot because it was McKivitz's first ever start in the NFL at right tackle. He only had Bosa for 2 practices before that game, Thursday and Friday, after Bosa finally signed his deal. And, I just figured he would get better naturally playing more at right tackle. and more, reps, iron sharpening iron with Bosa. So it'll be interesting to see because I think Micah Parsons is kind of right there in that conversation with TJ Watt and Bosa and Myles Garrett of the top edges in the league. And you got to figure they're going to put him on McKivit's side quite a bit, I would imagine.
It would favor them if they did that, but at the same time, we could always throw Kittle over there as a tight end to chip him and send him inside towards McKivitz. I mean, we're just going to have to see how all that plays out, you know.
Luckily, we know it won't be Tyler Croft. So that's the good
Oh
news.
man, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Oh man. And and I will, before we end the conversation on TJ Watt, I will say that I had like flashbacks to the NFC Championship when I saw TJ Watt coming around the right side of the line, and with a free run at Purdy and his arm back, and luckily he went for the ball and not his arm, but it was almost a carbon copy of what happened with Hassan Reddick. Honestly, the same thing as with DeMarcus Lawrence in Dallas when Nick Mullins tore his UCL too. All three are like you could, they all look just like one another. So it's like one of those things where like Purdy, we love his poise, and he's always got his eyes downfield and he does so much with that, but it's also scary because he doesn't pay attention to those guys coming off the edge at all. And I'd like to see him at least glance over, throw the ball away, throw it a little sooner. I don't know, anything, because the last thing we want, obviously, is him to get injured. We don't want to see Sam Darnold in anything, but like kneel downs or just running out the clock on the blowout. I don't ever want to see Sam Darnold when we need him. And I'm sorry, Bryant. I know Bryant likes Sam Area, but I think he's the only one. I think he's the only one.
I don't want to see Sam Darnold enter a game this season other than just kneel downs in garbage time.
Yeah,
that's what that. No offense, Sam, but Brock Purdy is just that good right now. I've been saying
he might be watching. He might be watching or chatting with the burner. You never know.
You never know. He could be.
Could be.
But when we had James, I was saying we need a step up from him. He's decent, but he's just not there. He's average. We need above average. And then here comes Purdy. Poise, looking downfield, finding his receivers, making throws 25 to 35 yards. We haven't seen anything incredibly deep out of him. Maybe he'll, I think he's still working back his arm strength from the surgery.
I think so
didn't
too.
really have an off season.
I just said that today, and I've been saying it all along, ever since camp. I didn't think he was back. He did make a couple nice throws against the Cards, but like there was no pressure. He was able to step into it. And let's be honest, the one to Ayuk, the long one, the 42-yarder, it was short. So I mean, you could say it was better that it was short. That's fine, but it was still short. Anyway, that's interesting stuff for sure. Red Jet Shell firing back at Randy. The man with the beats, the rhymes, the 916 King is always on time. More bars. I love it. You guys, it's like a wrap off here. So where were we? I kind of got lost there for a sec.
We're talking about the Cowboys now.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. This is where I got lost. Randy said the two Jakes are the true stars of the team. I only know one Jake, Moody. Who's the other Jake?
Brendel?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Good job. I'm slipping, man.
He's actually been playing a lot better than he was last year.
Yeah.
The first 10, 11 games last year was kind of iffy.
A lot of penalties.
Yeah. Then he came around.
Not good.
He came around and he's kept it up, and that's what we need out of him.
Yeah.
No, Burford needs to work on some things.
You think they'll start plugging Il Manning in there to platoon?
I did see that we re-signed him to the practice squad. The disappointing part is, Coletto was one of the guys they released.
Yeah, I was sad about that. And while we're talking about fullbacks, we should bring up the one that I wanted, who is Hunter Lepke, who is now a Cowboy. We're probably going to see him Sunday night. He's doing good things.
North Dakota State.
Much more of an athletic, same as Trey Lance, NDSU Bison. He's Coletto was more polished and more well-rounded and more like ready to plug and play. But Hunter Lepke has the much higher upside. He's the athletic freak. That was the one I wanted. A lot of us wanted us to draft him, and then he went undrafted. Like, oh great, we'll get him UDFA, and then not only did we not get him UDFA, but then he went to the Cowboys. Like double whammy. That's like body blow, uppercut. Damn. So hopefully he doesn't do big things against us. I hate when draft crushes come back to haunt you, even in their rookie season. That's painful. Pain. But so yeah, Jake Moody, obviously. Brian, shout out to Bryant Culp. For those who don't know, Bryant is a huge Moody fan. He has Moody on all four corners of his overlay. A couple
and a
from
jersey,
Michigan, a couple
and a
from
Moody
training
jersey.
camp. And the Moody, yeah, he wore the Moody jersey to the home opener against the Giants last Thursday night, or a week ago Thursday night. So shout out to Bryant Culp. He's also promoting McKivitz, saying McKivitz is playing good. Yeah, I just see. I think he'll be better against Micah than he was against TJ, but I don't think it'll be good. I think it's still going to be. He's going to need help, and I think it's that's one of our Achilles heels that I see of the game. Ways they can attack us for sure. RJS.
Well, what ways we can attack them? Arizona was running the ball on them.
Yeah.
So, and that's our primary thing is running the ball. So
run it right at Micah.
As long as we do what we do, control the clock, keep that, wear that defense down, then we should be able to take this game.
Randy says Brock, Roy Hobbs, Purdy. I love that. That's always good stuff. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the trick with Micah. He's a great pass rusher, but this offseason I said a lot that it's Bosa, TJ Watt, and Myles Garrett are the best three edges because they're dedicated edges. And that I refused to put Micah Parsons in the same conversation with them until he played dedicated edge too. And my hunch was that he couldn't play dedicated edge because he's not good enough against the run. Sounds like the Cards heard that and they ran it right at him. So hopefully we can do the same. I'd like to see that. But they did get some run stuffers back since I don't know if they were there for the Cards game or whatnot, but they do have some new run stuffers, at least since we played them in the playoffs. Leonard Hankerson is a big like Vince Wilfork type, like a two-gapper, just space eater run stuffer. And they also drafted a kid named Mozzie out of Michigan, 27th overall, first round. And they got a lot of grief for it because he doesn't pass rush. And they're like, we don't care. We didn't draft him to be a pass rusher, And then they also have another guy named Osa Ozigizua, I think is how you say it. And he's more of a pass rushing defensive tackle. But, then you had Micah, who's an incredible edge. I mean, if he's not top 3, he's top 4. And DeMarcus Lawrence, who was up there top rated as one of the best edges, at least one game this season. And then they have a young guy named Sam Williams, who's a hell of an edge, who's had 8.5 sacks last year. And all of a sudden, I'm saying they may have one of the best defensive lines in football. I mean, I know the Eagles are up there. I thought we would be, but quite frankly, maybe it's just Wilkes' system is not allowing them to shine. But so far, our D-line to me has not looked like in that top conversation. And straight up, our D is like 7th in the league, right? DVOA, I think I heard this week. So part of that's probably from having large leads. You play differently. I get that. But some interesting stuff. I mean, and then their O-line is, stout. They have one of the best O-lines in football. There were 4 out of 5 of them were out for the Cards game.
Well, last year, remember, we started slow, and it was mainly our offense that started slow. Our defense was doing their job, Yeah. So here we are this year, new defensive coordinator. He's getting a feel for everyone and, how to use them. But our offense has started out hot. And our defense is starting out okay, 7th. That's still pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
And but they have room to improve as the season goes. I don't expect us to have a number 1 defense. I really don't. But I do expect them to improve.
I kind of did, but I did think we would miss Jimmy Ward. You know, a lot of people said, "Oh, Jimmy, he lost his job to Gibson. He's no good." I'm like, no, man. He was really good. He had 3 interceptions in the second half of the season playing nickel, and he's a big hitter. He's an enforcer, and he's really good in coverage. Not usually not a big turnover guy, but he did in 2022 in half a season get 3. And I said, like, you know, Isaiah Oliver is a lot cheaper, so he could be a better value even if he's not quite as good. But I don't think even a lot cheaper he's a better value yet. He's kind of an Achilles heel, Isaiah Oliver. And then when Isaiah Oliver comes out and Lenore plays nickel and we put in Ambry Thomas at the boundary, I feel like Ambry Thomas is a liability as well.
Our nickel is the weakness right now. And we get Womack attack back mid-season. I don't know when Luter Jr. will be available, but he's a rookie, so we
Yeah,
still
and
don't
he missed
quite
all
know
of
what he has.
And he missed everything, right? He was out since OTAs. So, like, I don't know
Yep.
if he'll even play this year. But, yeah, that's my hope is Womack would be my number one and Luter is another. Or that these guys will improve. It's very possible these guys could improve, too. Ambry hasn't played a ton. Isaiah Oliver has, but maybe not in this system exactly. So, we'll see.
I honestly thought when they signed Isaiah Oliver, I watched some tape. I liked what I saw. And then, the preseason, I'm going, what is going on here? Like, is there something wrong with him? Is he just like learning the new system? Is he having his issues? Then he comes in the game. He does play the run very well, but his pass coverage has kind of been suspect. And, Ambry Thomas, he's still Ambry Thomas. I don't know if he's going to improve from where he's at right now. But, at this point, it's like, should we trade for a boundary corner and just swing Lenore inside?
Yeah, get Pat Surtain the second, please. That would be one. J.C. Jackson is available. Oh, I guess he already went back to the Pats, but he was available from the Chargers. Real quick, Tommy Huxley in the house. He says our defense is a Ferrari, but we're driving it like an Audi. Audis are actually pretty sporty now too, but yeah, it's I think part of the problem is we've got Wilkes is playing these guys off ball, and I think that Mooney Ward, Charvarius Ward is a better press man cover guy than he is zone, sit back off ball. That could be hurting him too. Not being able to check, to hand check people right at the line of scrimmage.
And the thing about zone is there's always holes in it. Speaking
Yeah.
of Tommy Huxley, he's the camel with 2 humps. Yep.
Oh, I love it.
Well, one day someone said, "Tommy, you're the goat." He's like, "I'm not the goat. I'm the camel with 2 humps." So
there you go. I don't know if that's Bactrian or dromedary, but it's one of those two. I can never remember the difference. But welcome, Tommy. It's been a while. Good to see you. He said the VA Giants. I'm not going to pronounce it. The VA Giants of Old York had zero respect for the Sea Chickens pass rush. Yeah, they gave up 11 sacks. That was crazy. And freaking Devin Witherspoon with the pick 6 and the I wouldn't say vicious, but like hard hits. I mean, he was dealing. He was dealing. He was looking like all pro. He was looking like worth that number 5 overall pick. You just don't expect rookies to develop that quickly. It was impressive in a bad way because I hate to say this, but
the Giants, who do they have? Darren Waller, and then their wide receivers. It's like who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
So they don't really have that impact wide receiver that's going to take 2 guys to cover, or
Especially
wide
when
receivers that
Saquon's
can
out.
actually get open quick enough to get the ball out. So that doesn't favor them at all. And
That's true.
the
Especially when
Sea
Saquon
Chickens,
Barkley's out.
maybe the Sea Chickens are a little better than I thought they'd be, but we'll be finding out on Thanksgiving.
We will, no doubt about it. Red Jet says, double shot of Ted while making dinner is chicken soup for the soul. Ah, you're too sweet. Thanks, Red Jet. Appreciate it. Randy Daytona says, Jimmy Ward was just on Sherman's podcast and said he wanted to go back to safety. Kyle was not going to let that happen. and they didn't talk again. It's funny, he misspelled that, and I know he didn't mean it because it's a slur, and it happens all the time on my phone. And like, and most of the time, I'm able to correct it. But man, it's such a bummer when you type something like that. You're trying to type Kyle, and anyway, I won't say it because it's just out of respect.
Yeah.
But I hate that word, and I hate that it pops up on my damn phone so
Did
much.
you see the Jimmy Ward interview?
I saw parts of it. I saw where he said that he thought Jimmy G could play in the NFC Championship game, which I said, Ryan Hensley said, a lot of us said, I was like, hey, it's supposed to be 6 to 8 weeks for a broken bone. It's been 9 weeks. Where's Jimmy G? And then he supposedly was going to be ready for the Super Bowl, but not ready for the NFC Championship game. It just didn't really make sense to me. But, ultimately, only Jimmy and his doctor really know the truth there, I guess. But
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. I've said it on shows before for sure. How about you?
Yeah, I saw the whole interview, and it's kind of like I didn't take it like Jimmy Ward is mad at the 49ers. I didn't take it that way. It was more like I wanted to go back to playing safety, and I told Kyle that, and Kyle said no, nickel or it was a nickel or the bench type of thing. And Jimmy Ward's like, yeah, I need to be on the field, so he just decided to play nickel.
Nickel or the bench.
And that's the weakness right now on our defense, right?
Nickel. Yeah, no, I miss Jimmy. I said all off season I thought we would. Yeah, it's a bummer, cost cutting casualty. And like you said, he wants to play safety. We weren't going to do it. It's too bad. It's too bad that we went with Isaiah Oliver, but I guess that was a Steve Wilkes pick. Yeah, I think there were probably other better options out there that we could have gone with, but and maybe we should have drafted some more people, right? I mean, we didn't really. We did Luter, but he's more of
Hey,
a
the
boundary corner.
trade deadline is not here yet.
That's true.
So,
It's not till
and
week
we
8.
have all of our draft picks. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see what, our brass does.
I just don't want to use a first round draft pick on a corner when I think we're going to need it for as good as well as McKivitz is playing. I think we're still going to want to use our first round draft pick on the right tackle. There's some good ones in this 2024 draft, and either that or trade for one now. But
think about how we've built the team, and Trent Williams is not getting any younger. So drafting a tackle in the first round only makes sense, and then we'll get him some playing time on the right side. And when Trent finally decides to hang it up, swap him over to the left side.
Yeah, whatever we got to do. But I mean, I think we got to, Trent Williams could retire at any time. He said he's going to play longer, but I don't know. I mean, especially if we win a Super Bowl, I think he'll retire for sure. So I think we need to plan accordingly that Trent Williams may not be here very long. And it's great to have depth. I mean, I don't trust Matt Pryor. I don't trust Jalen Moore. So we'll see. We'll see. Sorry, Sentinel Football Channel says, yeah, it's basically Jimmy wanted this. Kyle gave him ultimatum, and Jimmy said, all right, I'm going with D'Amico. Yeah. It's sad for sure.
I don't think we would have re-signed him because the whole, you can't keep everybody thing.
It's true. We haven't lost that many people. We've lost DeForest Buckner, DJ Jones, Jimmy Ward. Those are the big ones. I mean, Aziz Al-Shire, I think we're missing him a little bit. We'll definitely miss him if Dre or Fred gets injured, I would say. Jimmy Ward, not Jimmy Ward. Right. It's I-E. Jimmy with a Y is Jimmy G. Said, or left tackle. Yeah, exactly. Right tackle. We need a tackle with that first round pick for sure. 2 second rounders could bring Surtain over if they'll part. I'd love that. I think that could be the answer.
The thing about that is I don't know what year of his rookie contract he is in. I'm not sure if it's 3. Is he in year 3?
He was drafted the same class as Trey Lance. So yes.
Okay, then he's in year 3 then. So he's either after this season it would be making a decision on his 5th year option then or sign him to an extension, which would be paying another player.
Right. Right. Is Trent really going to come back? We don't know. I mean, that's a big question. We hope so, because he's incredible. So Both saying hi. So knew that. Don't care. Um, so as far as the Cowboys go, I mean, they're obviously missing a lot of guys when they lost to the Rams. So I mean, the Rams, the Cards. So I mean, I discount them losing that game a little bit because of that when you're missing four O linemen and O line's the strength of your team, and Diggs went out and they only had basically one walkthrough to adjust to it. I understand a lot of it was running, but having a lockdown corner helps your run defense too. It allows the safety to play in the box.
Yep.
They passed for 180 yards. That helps loosen up the run game too. So
Well,
you just look at the difference between the Cards game and the Pats game when they got Biotish back, they got Zach Martin back, and Terrence Smith or whatever the other Smith, not Terran Smith.
isn't it Tyrone Smith?
Well, that's the left tackle,
Isn't
but
it?
then there's also a Terrence Smith. It's kind
Oh,
of
okay.
confusing. There's two Smiths, and they're both really good. Anyway, and they just dog walked the Patriots and gave Bill Belichick the worst loss of his head coaching career. So anyone who's discounting the Cowboys, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. I mean, you can hate them, you can want us to whip them, but to expect it, I think, is a mistake. I think it's going to be a close game. I think we'll win, but I think it's going to be hard fought and maybe come down to the last possession or whoever has the most turnovers. The Cowboys have been forcing a ton of turnovers by their defense.
They really have, and we've been very careful with the football. So as long as we're careful, don't have turnovers, run the ball, like you said earlier, right at Mika Parsons, or just run the ball. Period. Then that's the key to winning this game is take care of the football and run it. Our defense, I'm pretty confident they'll get stops. You know, I honestly think Steve Wilkes has kind of played very vanilla so far this season. Maybe he's going to bust a trick out or two in this game, and we'll get to see something different.
There you go. I like it. Tommy Huxley says missing Diggs doesn't help us. He's softer than a marshmallow. Bland is physical. Yeah, Deron Bland, Fresno State, really good corner. The thing is, though, it's like who's behind Bland though now, right? Playing the nickel. That might be something we can pick on. Uh, so, but yeah, they have a great. The way you pick on them is also their linebackers. According to the Cowboys content creators that I had on, Leighton Vander Esch, he shows up sometimes, but not all the time. And with Kyle, he's good at picking on linebackers because he'll line up in 21 personnel with Juice and McCaffrey in the backfield, and then he'll there's a linebacker will be assigned to a back, and then all of a sudden he splits them out into the slot, and all of a sudden there's linebackers out there playing in space. Like, what the hell am I doing out here? He's got no help, and he's just easy to pick on that way. And I would expect to see Kyle do that some against the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, and when it comes down to it, they have Bland. Diggs, I don't think he did a lot against us when we played against him. Debo pretty much handed it to him. But this year we have Ayuk, who's playing at a higher level than he ever has, and it is fantastic to see. And Bland is probably going to be following Ayuk, but I honestly think Ayuk's going to win this battle. But then
He's won every battle so far this year. He seems
who's going to be
uncoverable.
covering Debo and Kittle and Jennings if he plays, or Ronnie Bell? Who's going to be covering those guys? So it's kind of a pick your poison with all the weapons we have. Then you have CMC, that who makes the check down into a viable play.
Incredible. MVP, CMC MVP. It's
I've
wild.
been saying CMC for NFL MVP.
Do
I
you
mean
have
it.
do you have a score prediction for the game, David?
I've honestly been thinking 31-17, but it probably is going to be closer to that. I believe on my picks, I gave us a 23-20, but
I'm right there with you.
31-17
I'm
is
saying
just stuck in my head.
24-21 for me, or 24-20, 21-21, 20,
Yeah,
21-17, somewhere in that range.
I
Close,
could
but
see it
Niners
coming down
win.
to a last second field goal. I could see this
Jake
happening.
Moody, death,
Yep.
taxes, and Jake Moody. Bryant Culp will be very happy. I am running short on time. My phone will literally ring at 4:15. So we should probably just get going here. I'm sorry we're having a great chat. But we knew it was going to be a short show.
Yep.
But everybody, make sure you check out David McNiner on YouTube and at McNew 49er801. But that's not your. Is that your YouTube? Is that your Twitter handle too?
It's David McNew, isn't it? David, isn't it? Yeah, the McNew 49er 801.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
And then there's no link to your show, but I have it. You got to put a link to your show in your Twitter page. It's David. Okay, it's different. David McNew 4214 on YouTube. And the link is in the description for the show, though. So if anybody wants it, just click the link, give David a like and subscribe. We'll appreciate it. Oh, it sounds like Dick Buckus passed away. That's a bummer for sure. Thanks everybody for being here, and just say beat them Cowboys and go Niners and peace.
That's right. Go Niners, F the Lambs and Cowboys this week.
There you go.